Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mini Story English, your daily English listening practice podcast from SpeakCast English. I'm Andrew.
Today we're talking about complaining politely. Telling a waiter the food is cold without being rude, so let's keep it simple, natural, and useful.
That's right, Ava. Today, we have a story for you that might make you feel a little bit nervous just thinking about it. It's about a moment when our friend Alex had to say something difficult, but he did it with such grace and politeness.
Oh, a difficult conversation. I know Alex has been working on his confidence, especially with his English. What happened? Was he on a date?
Chuckles. Not a date this time, but it was a situation where he really wanted to make a good impression, or at least, not a bad one. Well, imagine this. Alex is sitting in a really nice, cozy restaurant. The kind with soft lighting and quiet music.
Ooh, fancy. So, he's feeling good, enjoying the atmosphere?
Absolutely. He'd had a long day, and he was really looking forward to a delicious meal. He'd ordered his absolute favorite dish, a classic pasta, something he always enjoys.
Pasta. My weakness. I can just picture it.
Exactly. The waiter brings it to the table, and it looks absolutely perfect. Steam rising, fresh herbs, the sauce glistening. Alex's mouth was watering. He even took a moment to appreciate how beautiful it looked.
Oh, the anticipation. That's the best part of eating out sometimes.
It really is. So, he picks up his fork, twirls a perfect bite, brings it to his mouth, and then...
Don't tell me. It was cold, wasn't it?
Sighs dramatically, completely, utterly, disappointingly cold. Not just lukewarm, Ava, but like it had been sitting out for a while.
Oh no. That's the worst feeling in the world. You're hungry, you're excited, you've built up all this expectation, and then, poof, cold food. It just deflates you, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And Alex, being Alex, immediately felt this wave of embarrassment wash over him. He didn't want to cause trouble. He just wanted to enjoy his meal, but he knew he couldn't enjoy this meal.
I can totally relate to that. Sometimes it feels easier to just eat the cold food, even if it's not enjoyable, than to say something and potentially make a scene. It's like, oh, I don't want to be that person.
That's exactly what Alex thought too. He looked at the dish, then at the busy restaurant. It was quite full, lots of people chatting and laughing. He saw the waiter rushing between tables, and his mind started racing. Should I say something? What if I sound rude? What if they get angry? What if they spit in my next dish?
Gasps playfully. Oh, the horror. So, he had butterflies in his stomach, right? That nervous, fluttery feeling?
Absolutely. He had major butterflies in his stomach. He really didn't want to make a fuss. He worried he would sound like he was complaining too much, or being difficult, or even worse, like he was trying to get something for free.
Make a fuss is a great phrase for that feeling, like causing unnecessary trouble or drawing unwanted attention. It's like, I don't want to be a bother.
Yes, he just wanted to be polite. He thought, maybe it's not that cold. Maybe I'm just imagining it because I'm tired. He even took another tiny bite, just to be sure. But no, it really was cold. Stone cold, in fact.
So, what did he do? Did he just sit there, trying to eat it, hoping it would magically get warmer? I've definitely done that before.
For a few moments, he did. He picked at his food, trying to look casual, hoping the waiter would come back naturally to ask how everything was. He tried to catch the waiter's eye, subtly, you know? But the waiter was busy, serving a big table nearby, laughing with some customers.
That always happens. When you need something, they're nowhere to be found. When you don't, they're right there, asking if you need anything else. It's like they have a sixth sense for when you don't need them.
Exactly. Alex felt this pressure building. His stomach was rumbling, but the thought of eating that cold pasta made him feel a bit sick. He knew he couldn't eat it cold. But how to say it? He felt like he had to walk on eggshells.
Walk on eggshells. What does that mean, Andrew? That sounds delicate.
It means to be very careful not to upset someone or cause trouble. Imagine literally walking on fragile eggshells. One wrong step and everything breaks. He was trying to find the perfect, super polite way to say it, so he wouldn't offend anyone, wouldn't seem demanding, and wouldn't ruin the nice atmosphere.
Ah, so he was feeling very, very cautious. He didn't want to seem rude at all, especially in a nice restaurant. He probably felt like everyone was watching him.
Precisely. He practiced a few sentences in his head. He thought, this food is cold. No, too direct, too blunt. Then, my food isn't warm. Still a bit too blunt, almost accusatory. He even considered, why is my food cold? But that sounded too aggressive.
It's tricky, isn't it? English has so many ways to soften a request or a complaint. You have to choose your words so carefully, especially when you're not a native speaker.
It really does. And Alex was feeling the pressure. His face started to feel a little warm, his palms were a bit sweaty. He knew he had to bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet. Oh, that's a good one. Does that mean he decided to just do it, even though it was difficult and uncomfortable?
Yes, that's exactly right. He decided to face the uncomfortable situation directly, even though he really didn't want to. He took a deep breath, gathered his courage. He saw his waiter walking past again, heading towards the kitchen. This was his chance.
This is the moment. My heart is beating just thinking about it.
This is it. Alex raised his hand slightly, not a big wave, just a small, polite gesture. The waiter noticed him, paused, and came over with a friendly smile. Alex felt his heart beating even faster, like a drum in his chest.
What did he say? I'm on the edge of my seat. Did he remember his polite phrases?
He looked at the waiter, gave a small, nervous smile, and said, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm afraid this is a little cold."
Oh, that's a perfect way to say it. It's polite, it's apologetic, but it's also very clear. He didn't beat around the bush too much.
The waiter paused, looked at the plate, and immediately, his friendly smile softened into an expression of concern. He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that, sir. My apologies. Let me take it back for you right away."
Wow, that was a good reaction from the waiter. Alex must have felt such a huge sense of relief.
He felt a massive wave of relief wash over him. The tension in his shoulders melted away. He quickly added, "Oh, it's not a big deal, really, but it's just not quite warm enough to enjoy." He wanted to make sure the waiter didn't feel too bad.
It's not a big deal. That's a good phrase to use there, to show you're not angry or upset, right? You're just stating a fact.
Exactly. It shows you're not trying to cause a major problem, just pointing out a small issue that needs fixing. The waiter was very understanding, nodding sympathetically.
So, what did the waiter offer to do? Did he just offer to reheat it?
The waiter said, "I can certainly warm it up for you, sir, or would you prefer I bring you a completely fresh one?" He gave Alex options, which was nice.
A fresh one is always better, I think. Reheated pasta sometimes just isn't the same. It can get mushy or dry.
Alex thought the same thing. He smiled, feeling much more confident now that the hard part was over, and said, "A fresh one would be wonderful, if that's possible. Could I get a fresh one, please?"
Could I get a fresh one, please? Again, so polite. He didn't demand it, he made it sound like a request, almost a favor.
No, not at all. He made it a polite request, giving the waiter an easy way to say yes. The waiter nodded, took the plate, and went straight to the kitchen. Alex sat back, feeling a little shaky from the adrenaline, but also very proud of himself.
Proud, because he managed to communicate effectively and politely in English, even when he was feeling uncomfortable. That's a huge win for language learners.
Yes. He realized that being polite doesn't mean you can't speak up for yourself. It means you choose your words carefully, you respect the other person, and you focus on the solution, not the blame. And it made a big difference. His new dish came out hot, fresh, and absolutely delicious. He enjoyed every single bite.
That's a great story, Andrew. It really shows how important it is to be able to express yourself, even when you're feeling a little uncomfortable or nervous, especially in a new language. It's a skill we all need.
Absolutely. Alex learned that day that politeness and clear communication are powerful tools, not just for getting what you want, but for building positive interactions, especially when you're learning a new language and navigating new cultures.
I think many of our listeners can learn from Alex's experience. It's such a common situation, whether it's cold food, a wrong order, or something else. We've all been there.
It really is. Now, let's break down some of the useful phrases Alex used in this situation, so our listeners can use them too.
Great idea. The first phrase I want to talk about is what Alex said when he first spoke to the waiter. I'm afraid this is a little cold.
Ah, yes. A classic polite way to deliver slightly bad news or a gentle complaint. It's so common.
Exactly. I'm afraid here doesn't mean he's scared or frightened. It's a very common, polite way to introduce a complaint or a negative statement. It softens the message, making it less direct and less confrontational.
So, it's like saying, I regret to inform you, but in a much more natural, everyday, and friendly way. It prepares the listener for something not so great.
Yes, precisely. It shows you're not happy about the situation, but you're not being aggressive or demanding. You're just stating a fact politely, almost with a hint of regret that you have to bring it up.
Can you give us another example, Ava, maybe not about food?
Sure. Imagine you're at a hotel and your room isn't ready at the check-in time. You could go to the reception and say, "Excuse me, I'm afraid my room isn't quite ready yet." See how "I'm afraid" makes it gentler than just saying, "My room isn't ready."
That makes perfect sense. It's much softer and more understanding than just a blunt statement. Or if you have to tell someone you can't help them, "I'm afraid I can't help you with that right now."
Right. Now, a common mistake for some learners might be to translate "I'm afraid" too literally, thinking it means being scared. But in this context, it's purely about politeness and softening your language. It's a very British English way of speaking, but widely understood.
So, it's not about fear, but about softening the message and showing consideration. It's a great little linguistic trick.
Exactly. Okay, everyone, let's practice this. Listen closely and repeat after us.
Slowly. I'm afraid this is a little cold.
Now, at a natural pace. I'm afraid this is a little cold.
Excellent. The second phrase we should look at is, it's not a big deal.
Oh, this is so useful. Alex used it to reassure the waiter that he wasn't angry or making a huge fuss. It really helped calm the situation.
Yes, it means it's not a serious problem, or it's not something to get upset about. It minimizes the issue, showing you're reasonable.
Right. So, even though Alex had a legitimate complaint, cold food is definitely a problem. He used this phrase to show he wasn't making a mountain out of a molehill. He wasn't going to shout or demand a free meal.
It tells the other person, don't worry too much, we can fix this easily. It takes the pressure off.
For example, if your friend accidentally spills a little water on your table or bumps into you, you could say, "Oh, it's not a big deal, I can just wipe it up," or, "No worries, I'm fine." It shows you're easygoing.
That's a good example. It helps to calm the situation down and prevents the other person from feeling too guilty or embarrassed. It's a very kind phrase to use.
A common mistake for some learners might be to avoid using this phrase, perhaps thinking that if something is a problem, you shouldn't say it's not a big deal. But in English, it's often used to show you're reasonable and understanding, even when there's a minor issue.
It shows you're easygoing, even when there's a small issue. It's a sign of maturity and good social skills.
Exactly. Let's practice.
Slowly. It's not a big deal.
Now, naturally. It's not a big deal.
Perfect. And finally, the third phrase Alex used was, could I get a fresh one, please?
This is such a polite and effective way to ask for something specific. Could I get is incredibly useful in almost any service situation.
It's much softer and more respectful than, give me a fresh one, or, I want a fresh one. Those sound very demanding, don't they?
Yes, could I get is a polite request, almost like asking for permission, even though you're entitled to it in this situation. The please at the end makes it even more polite and adds that extra touch of courtesy.
It's about showing respect to the person you're asking, acknowledging their role, and making it easy for them to help you.
For instance, if you're at a coffee shop and you want a different type of milk for your drink, you could say, "Excuse me, could I get oat milk instead of regular milk, please?" Or if you need a napkin, "Could I get a napkin, please?"
That's very clear and polite. It works in so many situations, not just restaurants.
A common mistake for some learners might be to use, "Can I get?" which is okay and understandable, but "Could I get?" is generally considered even more polite and is often preferred in service situations, especially when you're making a request that might require a little extra effort from the other person.
So, could I is generally more formal and polite than can I. It implies a bit more deference.
Yes, exactly. It adds an extra layer of deference and respect. Alright, let's practice this one.
Slowly. Could I get a fresh one, please?
Now, naturally. Could I get a fresh one, please?
Excellent job, everyone. You're doing great. Keep practicing these.
So, Alex's story shows us that sometimes, even when you're nervous or uncomfortable, speaking up politely can lead to a much better experience. It turned a potentially bad meal into a great one.
Politeness and clear communication are your best friends, especially when you're navigating social situations in English. They open doors, rather than closing them.
It's all about choosing the right words to express yourself respectfully, and remembering that most people want to help you if you approach them kindly.
And remember, it's okay to have a problem or an issue, as long as you communicate it clearly and calmly. Just like Alex did. He got a hot, delicious meal, and the waiter felt good about fixing the problem.
So, for our comment challenge today, we want you to tell us about a time you had to complain politely. Or, if you haven't, tell us how you would use one of today's phrases in a similar situation.
Use, I'm afraid, it's not a big deal, or, could I get, in your comment. We love reading your examples and seeing how creative you can be.
And speaking of next time, imagine you're trying to explain something complicated to a friend, but they just aren't getting it. You've tried everything. What do you do when your words aren't enough?
We'll explore that tricky situation and some fantastic phrases to help you out in our next episode.
Thank you so much for listening and practicing your English with us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your favorite phrase from today. It really helps us out. Before we finish, let's do a quick recap of today's main ideas and the most useful phrases. Remember, I'm afraid this is a little cold, it's not a big deal, and, could I get a fresh one, please?
Pick one or two expressions and try them in real life today, even in a very short conversation. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
Thank you for listening today. We hope this mini story helped you practice real English in a practical, everyday situation. You've been listening to SpeakCast English. Thanks for practicing with us, and see you next time on SpeakCast English.